Part two. Okay, part two is clutch and throttle. So instead of making this extremely boring and all that, I'm going to actually stop, show you guys what I'm talking about, drive, ride, whatever you want to call it. I'm actually going to try to keep this somewhat entertaining, but this part is clutch and throttle control. So let me go over here to the side of the road, and I'll try not to slip and slide on all this sand, dirt, and rock and kill myself, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, so clutch and throttle control. There's two main things you need to know about clutch and throttle. When you pull the clutch in, there's no power being dispersed to your rear tire. All power from the motor to the rear tire gets completely cut off, okay? So when you pull in on the clutch and the clutch handle is in, there is no power that is given from the throttle that is going to go to that rear tire. So when you kick it in gear, you obviously want to pull in on the clutch. As you can see here, my hand is fully pulled in on the clutch, and I'm going to put it in gear. Now it's in gear. Now the best thing as beginners to learn and do is when you put it in gear and you obviously want it to be in first gear, make sure that clutch is constantly being held in and slowly let out the clutch. And once the bike starts rolling forwards, pull the clutch in. You don't have to hit the brake. I just hit the brake because I don't want to go out to the road. Just slowly let off the clutch. Once the bike starts pulling like it wants to roll forwards, let it out. Keep your feet on the ground, push yourself backwards, and do it over and over and over again. That's right there is the friction zone. You want to do that as many times you possibly can, over and over again, to get used to the bike's friction zone. Okay? And as you start to let it out, try to coast with it. Let it out, pull it back in, let it out, pull it back in, and actually get some distance just using the clutch. You can leave your feet on the ground and stabilize yourself, because it's not going to be enough speed where you're going to be able to be stabilized standing up. So just slowly do that, and after a while you'll get used to the friction zone in the clutch and where it should be and where you should be letting go of the clutch and giving it gas, and you'll learn all of that in one solid fluid motion. So let me back up a little bit here so I got a little bit more road. Now I'm going to pull my brake in to stop. Clutch is in gear, and I'm going to let it go. Now I'm rolling forwards, pulling it back in, letting it out, back in, out. And you can get some decent distance just by using the clutch. You're not going to be going, obviously, speed, but just some decent distance. Once you get that done on your clutch, and you know how to control the clutch and where the friction zone is, you can add some throttle into it. So when you're letting out of the clutch and you hit that friction zone, it's all going to become muscle memory to you at some point. It's all going to be very easy, and you'll know exactly what it is that you're feeling. So when you pull in on that clutch and you got it in gear, right when you hit that friction zone, you're going to give it just a little bit of throttle. Not talking like it's insane, just a little bit of throttle. My bike idles around 1500 RPMs. I'm going to give it about 2500 RPMs, an extra 1000, and ease out on that clutch. It starts to go, and you just give it that little bit of gas, and it will start to want to go. So we'll do that, and we'll throw that all in now. So a little out on the clutch, a little gas, and we're off. Now that is like the easiest and most basic way to learn how to take off using your clutch. There is no easier way, I guess, to say. I don't know, but that is how you use your clutch and your throttle. Now this has no outlet, so this will be a little better to do shit here, but we'll come to a stop and we'll do it again. Pull on the clutch. Okay, I like to use, sometimes I use three fingers, my rear 3, my front 2, or the whole hand, depending on what I'm thinking at the time. But we'll go up a little bit. We'll just go up a little bit, and I'll just use my clutch only. I got the clutch out. I'm riding the clutch right now, and I am rolling. No throttle is being given. My feet are up. No throttle has been given yet. And I'm rolling along. Okay? So you can actually ride. I got someone behind me. You can actually ride just by using your clutch. You don't even have to use any throttle, depending on the size of the bike. The gearing is going to definitely be different. The gearing is definitely going to monitor what you can and cannot do, if you can take off like that or not. But that's what you want to do. You want to feel that friction zone of your clutch, so you can let it out and pull it in, let it out and pull it in, so that you know, oh man. So you really want to get to know your friction zone like it's your best friend. That friction zone is going to save you. It is helping you. It's your lifeline. Like I said, you're pulling on the clutch at any time, in gear, not in gear, no matter what is going on. Unless your clutch breaks, the bike is going nowhere once you pull that lever in. So you want to just put it in gear, give it a little bit of, well, that was a little more than I wanted to. But you give it a little bit of throttle, let out in the clutch, and you'll hit that friction zone. Now, what some people don't explain to you is, do you give it gas first, or clutch first, or clutch and gas at the same time? It's supposed to be clutch and gas at the same time, but most people, depending on your situation, if you're being in a rush situation, 90% of people are going to throttle first, then clutch. If you're casual with it, it's either going to be clutch first or both at the exact same time. So don't worry about that. After you get your bike, you'll get used to it, and you'll realize exactly what it is you're supposed to be doing. And if you're doing something wrong, she'll stall out. I'm not going to stall her out because she won't start again. I know that because my leg is burning.